All right. This is part two of the athletic exchange with John Barnes and Silentwork. Yesterday
Yo,
we
yo.
had to cut it off a little bit, but we're back at it because I had so much more to ask him and get some insight on some things that, like, have been on my heart, and just to hear a different perspective of the game and life things that are going on. So without further ado, we will start this interview. Welcome back, John.
Appreciate having me again. Feel like I just seen you. Feel like I
I
just seen
know. I thought it was very good. Like, I enjoyed it a lot. Like, I could have stayed on a lot longer, but like I told you, I had something else to get done that I'm trying to stay consistent on. So,
for
um,
sure.
are you ready for part two?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, let's get it. All right, so we're just gonna jump in. Today is gonna be like, I wouldn't say like deeper or just hitting some things real hard, but it is gonna be, I guess, sensitive subjects because a lot of people don't want to talk about it or expose it, and
Okay.
but we'll get there. We'll keep it light as possible. But we're just gonna, okay.
Okay.
So as far as like the game of basketball, you've spectated some games around there, high school, middle school, different levels, Northwest Florida, all those games. And do you feel like there's something missing from the game nowadays as far as like the athletes, the coaches, like anything that you see, like do the kids have enough heart? Do they really love the game? Like, do you feel like anything's missing from the aspect of playing the game and really having a passion for it?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? And I was talking to one of our guys about this the other day because he was on me because I when I talk to him I say like your generation
Yeah.
I was just kind of explaining to him how like I'm not blind to the fact that like when I grew up the environment was there for me to become a good basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids don't have that.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that people don't really like account for. So like one thing that I think is missing is just like the amount of time to just hoop
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think they really have that space. Like I felt like when I was growing up, it was always somewhere I could go to play basketball. And I don't think they necessarily have it like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think they play a lot more structured basketball than I played.
Okay.
Like I played a lot where it was just like nobody. Like it was just like 21 games and it was just just pick up basketball where it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's that aspect is missing, at least in this town. I think in
Yeah.
big cities, like it's you can find that, but here, like the rec centers, ain't nobody in there on the like it's a group of people who like got their group and they're probably older that like yeah, we come in here at playing this time. But for the majority, like kids can't just go to the rec center and it's a bunch of other kids in there playing basketball.
Yeah.
So I think that breeds a different type of athlete in the area
Mm-hmm.
without getting into like too many details about like what I think about specific programs or what somebody else got going on. Like I just think like it's a tougher space for kids to develop in this town.
And then on top of that, it, like you say that for guys, it's
For
even
oh man.
like, where there are a lot of I used to want to, even like after I was playing, I just wanted to find a group of girls that just wanted to hoop and just play. And I could not find 10 girls that actually truly wanted to get down and like just play. For
No.
whatever reason, whether they were in relationships or just don't have an interest for it. It's way tougher for girls. At least
It's
guys, like I used to see them at the park right up the street from Fred's, like
mhm.
outside, or because I know at one point were they charging to get into Fred's after when they did that renewal thing, or could the
Oh
kids get
yeah.
passes or something, or
Yeah, it started to cost money for the
yeah.
rec center, but yeah. Nah, you know when it was really nice and it kind of made me feel like my child. COVID, it was popping outside
Mhm.
during COVID. It was like
Yeah.
you could really find that run outside at that park you talking about. Like it was cool. Like I really enjoyed that. It made
Yeah.
me go get in the mix. Like let me
Right.
come get some of this. Like
Yeah.
nah, that was a good time. But on the normal, like it's not. Like if you go there right now, it's nice outside right now.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody. It may be. I mean, it may be a couple people, but it ain't like 15 guys out there playing and you can go and get some run in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think
Um,
that's a piece that I would say is missing.
okay. And I know, like, the game has kind of changed to where it's like the three ball, three ball, three ball, or I'm going straight to the rim. Like kids don't. Well, I wouldn't say kids. Players don't understand the concept of when to and when not to, like pull up for a jumper, pull up for a midi. And I know that everybody has the urge to want to score, and the lack of defense has really been kind of like, where is it at? And I don't know. Like I don't know if it's um I wouldn't say not being taught, or it's just like my only focus right now is three ball because that's what they see a lot. And I mean, of course, scoring has been done from years and years from back in the day and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know, it's different to me when I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, I mean, I think on a couple aspects. Like globally, basketball, I think that's like social media changed that a little bit. Like,
Hmm.
everybody sees the highlights and the highlight tapes, and it's the coolest thing. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like it looks dope, the slow mo with the music, and you make the offensive move, right? So it's like that's what you want to replicate. I want that. I want that tape. Like I want that highlight tape. I want people to see me like that, right? So I think as a whole in basketball, if I'm a young kid, that looks super cool. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So
Hmm.
like, of course, offensively, that takes a priority. Even
Yeah.
just the structure of basketball, like points is the thing that we're counting. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like that's the thing that's visually on the scoreboard. So
Right.
like, there's just naturally that's where you feel like the value is. Like I need to be able to score. That's what they counting. I need to score.
Hmm.
I would say like just kind of locally, I think like, and I'd say this as a coach, like I think you got to be careful on like what you give praise to,
Hmm.
right? So I think like as kids and young men and women, I think like you can pick up on, oh, coach get excited over a bucket.
Yeah.
He don't really get excited when I dive on the floor or if there's a defensive stop.
That's
So why
good.
would I do that?
Okay.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right. Yeah.
So like I think like and this is something that I'm aware of that I do like if there is somebody who like their thing is like I'm a defensive stopper, I'm gassing it.
Yeah.
I'm gassing it OD. And I'm a really like anytime I see you really locking in, like I'm gonna let everybody know and I'm gonna give that its praise because it's an important role, like it's an important piece of winning. So like make sure the same energy you give when a three goes in or when somebody scores a good bucket defensively, you're showing that. And I think that's just like as a coach, you can do that unconsciously. You can just like not really realize that like you clap every time somebody score or like there's like a yeah, right?
Yeah.
When like, you can give that same energy and even like spreading it to your team to give that same kind of energy on a dive on the floor
Oh
or
man.
you know what I mean,
That gets
whatever
me
it may
so
be.
hyped. That gets me
Right.
so hyped.
Yeah, for sure. We had one this past weekend or this past week and it was so subtle. It was like so think about this character wise. It was like a loose ball coming towards the sideline and a kid dove on it, like slapped it back in before it came in. It ended
Hmm.
up turning into a floater that
Hmm.
kind of like, we scored out of it. But we did that. He did that, and we was up 20 at the time.
Oh yes, love it, love
Man,
it.
so after that, after it was like a stop in the play, I turned around and I yelled at him like, "Yeah!" He
Yeah,
kind of like pounded his chest like, "Yeah, coach, because I want you to like, I need you to feel that. Yeah, I appreciate you. I see what you did. Nobody else probably gave it as much credit to it, but because I make it an emphasis, I need to
yeah,
make sure I praise it when I do see it. Not just like I'm telling y'all to take charges, and when somebody take charge, I'm just kind of like,
right.
eh,
Yeah,
nah. So I think that's something from the coaching perspective of like if that's missing, like you as a coach, you can bring emphasis to it. Like you can change that.
yeah. All right. So let's get into this. Okay, title is like parents. Um, this is like a sensitive subject because I think that there are a lot of parents that know the game, if you so to speak or whatever. And I'm not a parent yet,
Hmm.
and but I've seen a lot. I've been around a lot of parents, um, from a coaching aspect, from a training aspect, and it's one of those things that I saw your skit when I guess after a game, it was a scenario that you put on with your dad, and
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one where the conversation in the car.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
For
so I
sure.
feel like in general, a lot of parents don't realize that they can make or break their child with things that they're saying, whether it be bashing the coaches, because now you got your kid thinking something about the coach. And then if you're bashing the other players that they play with, now you got them not want to pass, just certain things that go on. So, what is your perspective, or what is your view on how parents can, I guess, better assist their child to be a successful young student athlete?
Yeah. Great question. And it is a touchy topic.
Right. In my mind, I'm trying to
Um,
figure out what
how
kind
to
of state
word
of
it right.
yes.
No doubt. So I think that it's like an awareness thing, at least how I see it. Like I think for the majority, kids want the approval of their parents first.
Yeah.
So, I think kind of the same thing of what I just was talking about from the coach's view. On like from a parent view, like what are you praising?
Mhm.
Right? Like when do you show them the type of affection and like excitement that they're looking for? You know what I mean? Is it only when they have a good game offensively?
Yeah, right.
Is it,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Is it only like when they make a three?
Yeah.
Right? Like, or do you praise the defensive effort, or do you praise like, yo, like you was engaged on the bench, right? Like, and just like I think I so I preface it with this. I don't think people do it intentionally.
Mhm.
I think parents genuinely just want the best for their kid,
Yeah. I believe that.
but I don't know if they understand or are aware enough of like how their actions affect their kid. I think,
Yeah.
I think they're saying and they're giving the criticism of like from a good place. Like I just want you to play well and I want you to do well. But I think too, like there's a feel that you gotta have of like, am I hurting him or am
Mhm.
I hurting her with this type of like with these conversations and with how I'm asking. I think it's just a feel, and I
Yeah.
think it's easier for like people, even me, to judge that from an outsider perspective. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I got a kid, I got Gigi, so I'm like
Mhm.
because I get to watch it now, I'm gonna be really sensitive about how I'm acting and how I'm interacting with her if she plays sports and the coaching and all of the stuff. But if I never had that awareness up front,
Yeah.
like I can see how people just kind of slip into like, bro, you got to do this and you got to do right, and out of like a love thing, like I want you to play well and you ain't doing this and right. So I mean, I think it's just the like if parents kind of sit back, reflect on their actions and watching like when I say this, how is their reaction to it? How's their
Yeah.
body language when I talk to them like that? Like, is it doing good or should I try a new approach? That's how I like address it, and that's how I'm gonna go about it. Because maybe some people it work, like some things work for their kid and they can talk to them a certain way, and some people are not. I think it's all a feel thing, but I think you got to be aware of like, am I doing harm or am I helping?
Yeah.
And
I
just
think
kind of like think tit for tat and just kind of like try stuff. Nah, that ain't it,
that
and then
ain't
just go to
it.
something else. Yeah.
I so with that, I just want parents to know it's not always the coach's fault. I
Yeah,
think that awareness comes with knowing your child. So, uh, if your child's okay, so there's a line between like physical abuse, mental abuse, and then your child is just your child. You know your child at the end of the day, right?
yeah,
And
for sure.
so if you were to come to a practice and see how your child is, you wouldn't be blaming me for them not having playtime. So is
No
there's so
doubt.
many things that with the coach there's baggage, because you can't just do your coaching job and go home. Like you can't. There's so much added things that come with that, and I feel like with that, parenting can be done in the background. As a coach, that is a type of like parenting, but it's on display. So you got, you're just
Everybody
coming
get
from
to watch.
everybody. So
Yeah.
with that, when you're hearing, I don't know if you can tune it out. Like, again, I've coached and you hear so many things going on and that could be a distraction to the kids that are on there. When you're coaching, how do you like keep those taunts and just different things from penetrating you to continue to like stay focused on your coaching style and what you got going on and keeping your guys locked into the team and what y'all are building?
Yeah, I mean, so that's like a loaded. I got a few ways
I'm
I could
sorry.
go across that. No, you good. You good. I think like um for me personally and just like how I go about keeping it out is like I just know what my intentions are and like why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Mhm.
So like my intentions are never like negative or malicious in any way. You know what I mean? Maybe sometimes I think like parents don't see the full picture,
Yeah.
right? Like they don't see, it's 3 o'clock right before practice and your kid in the hallway.
Yeah.
There's a view that you don't see.
Mhm.
There's language and conversations that you don't get to see.
Mhm.
And those things, the everything that's like, because there's a behind the scenes for us too. Like as like a team, right? Like there's time when we're not playing and we're not even practicing,
Mhm.
and there's things that are going on. So it's just kind of like everything for me at least plays a factor. And so I think about like, you know, I don't let it in because you don't know the full story,
Yeah.
and all the view you get is on game day,
Mhm.
and so that's when everything is on display.
Yeah.
And it's a super small window. We've had a whole week of practice that you haven't seen, and that you probably only have heard about from a 14-year-old perspective,
Yeah.
right? Like so, and I'm super open for them conversations. If anyone like wants to, has a question about why I do what I do, and with me being like very aware about like why I'm doing the things, like it's all intentional and it's never malicious. And I don't think parents keep this in mind. We all want to win.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing things to lose.
Mhm.
So if there's a time when your kid isn't in the mix of something, it's like, well, you just don't add enough value to be in the mix right now. It's
Yeah.
not. I would love to have it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But right now, it just isn't. It isn't that. So you know, I, as long as your intentions are pure and like I'm open for the conversation because nothing is malicious. So that's how I keep everything out. I know you don't know everything, and that's okay. I
Mhm.
can tell you. I'll tell you everything and why I made the decision I made, or why it looks the way it does. But that's how I keep everything away. Like it's not personal at all ever.
Yeah.
That
I
winning part, I think, keep is a part that I don't think parents look at enough. Like,
Mhm.
I think all coaches are doing what they're doing to win. I don't think they're doing it to like please a kid.
Yeah.
I think they make every decision and they play who they play because they feel like that person is going to give them the best chance to win.
I didn't even
So
think
if you're
about
not
it
in
like
that,
that. That's really
yeah.
that's
So
yeah.
if you're not in that, you don't like he's not confident enough in you to be like, hey, let's this is my 5 or this is my 7. So if you're in that back half, he just kind of like he don't really trust you as a player.
Mhm.
As a parent and as a player, like you want to be in a space where it's undeniable, where like
Yeah.
I'm a person who like if coach want to win, he needs me.
Mhm.
When you can get to that space, there comes freedom in that space. But if you're not in that, it's really like you got to prove yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I dig that a lot because I feel like conversations can be had at any time. Like if you ever feel like something is malicious, then all you got to do is call the coach. Like,
Yeah,
being letting it be cancerous and then going from this player and then you get two more players involved. Like, what the coach, I don't, come on, let's just nip it in the
yeah,
bud and let's just, get over it.
yeah.
And accountability is big too. What do you feel like parents could do more? Because I feel like resources are out there. Whether you do it yourself, you watch game film, you just watch games, period. I feel
Mm.
like that's a bonding experience for them and their kids. Plus, if there is an issue with playing time in your skill development, then those are resources that you could do. How do you feel about how more parents can be more involved?
Yeah, I mean, it's like what you just said. I mean, just the little things. It ain't even got to be deep. Like, I rarely see parents outside shooting with their kids.
Mhm. Right.
I just see like I do hear that he hasn't done nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like, there's always room where like you can just like pick up the ball. Yo, come shoot with me.
Mhm.
Let's go outside. Let's whatever it may be. But yeah, I mean, I think you just hit it on the head. Like, there's always things you can do that don't cost nothing, that don't take nothing. That's just
Mhm.
like if you're not doing it, it's almost like a choice.
Yeah.
You know?
If you really I mean, if you really love it and it's a direction you wanna go in, like, I feel like it's really important and like, everything is self-reflection, like, what are you doing, what are you not doing?
Yeah.
And that comes with the kid like, a parent too, I feel and again, I'm not a parent, y'all, sorry, but I just feel like if I say, "Hey, just go outside and make 50 shots," like, that'll take less than 30 minutes if you really about your business, and if it's done consistency, everything's repetitive, just do it. If
Yeah.
you just little things like that.
No doubt.
Okay, social media.
Hmm.
How do you feel about social media nowadays? Because back in the day, we didn't have it. It wasn't a thing that we could get our game tape out like that. Like we still had in my VHSs that we're trying to send through the mail and all kind. How do you feel about social media? Do you feel like it's a blessing or a curse? And as far as the exposure piece for the kids, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I think it depends on what side of it that you're on. So like I've seen it done really well,
Hmm.
where it's like that's gonna be beneficial.
Okay.
So like I've seen, like I got a kid who I work with from out of town, and he's from Indianapolis, and he's gonna be a high level. He's a freshman this year, but he's gonna be a high level D1 player.
Hmm.
And when you go to his Instagram, that's what it looks like. Like if I'm a coach, I'm like, oh, this is everything I want to see.
Okay.
Now I want to go see him,
Mm.
like in person. It looks great, like it's put
Mhm.
together, but it's like intentional. Like it ain't.
Mhm.
You can tell it's just not him on there playing. Like I guarantee, like his parents are like a part of it. Like
Mhm.
they're like make seeing what's being posted because it's like a profession for them. Like it's really like they know that they're going to be in certain places and coaches are going to be looking. So there's nothing of him like at the gas station posted up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
all hoop stuff. It's all basketball like highlights and clips and like him working out. Like there's nothing that it looks professional.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So on
Yeah.
that end, I think it's fire because I think he's going to get to college and I think he's got like he may have maybe like 15,000 followers as a freshman in high school,
Wow, okay.
right? But in this NIL world, that's going to be a value to him.
Mhm.
He going to be able to take that to like when he get to college and be like, look, this is my brand. This is how many
Mhm.
eyes I have. This is, and so it's like dope to see that part of it. Now on the other end of it, where it's just like, everybody's got a highlight tape and, it's for me, I think like I'm not into watching people's highlights because I can manipulate them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so it doesn't show like a true picture.
Mhm.
And it literally is like you can make you can make 12 points look like you dominated a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
they can be your only 12 buckets of the game and you had 6 turnovers, y'all lost and you got fried defensively,
Mhm.
right? But your highlights of your buckets look good. So it
Mhm.
just shows like such a small aspect of like what really happened in the game. And so like it looks cool, but I'm not as a coach, I don't really get into it. But I think it's as far as like the culture that we in and like if you want to get those followers, like you kind of got to have that stuff.
Yeah.
So I get it. You know what I mean? I think it's maybe like the beginning level to like getting the type of exposure because I low key I could have used that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like there are tapes of me that like are gone
Mhm.
that'll never get found again that I
Yeah.
wish I could have had and posted on a social media. You know
Same.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, I think there's a definitely a value to it if you use it the right way, no doubt.
Mhm. I agree. I agree 100% because
But it can be a distraction as well. Obviously, I think we all know that. Like it can be as goofy as you want it to be, but it can also be like a real tool for sure.
mhm. And the whole like I guess the comparison is a big thing too.
Mm.
So what can you say on that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and I think with the comparison thing, don't just go through basketball.
Yeah.
I think it go through everything because there's
Mhm.
every field on there. I've done it before. I've looked at trainers, other trainers, and been like, dang, my stuff don't look like his stuff.
Yeah.
And he's in year 15 and I'm just starting and I'm looking like, yo, I don't my camera don't what camera he got? That joint look crazy. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
thinking like I'm not good enough because I'm looking at somebody else's who's been doing it for way longer. I think it goes through basketball, like with kids. I
Mhm.
think it goes through like girls looking at other young girls, like, oh, she's so pretty. I think it goes across everything as
Mhm.
far as like um what's the saying? Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the worst places if you spend too much time in there. Like it's you'll just like devalue where you're at right now because you're looking at somebody else.
And it is to lose that at such a young age. Oh, that's tough
Yeah.
because I mean, it's like the likes and all that is what I feel like a lot of these young kids feel value them,
Hmm.
and that's tough.
Yeah.
That's
It's like I
tough.
was piggybacking off what I said last night. I'm just like I just got to stay confident for a long time because I ain't
Yeah,
see nothing.
right.
I didn't know. I had
Mhm.
no idea, but these kids know immediately. You see
Yeah.
the the 6'8" fifth grader who dunked, and you like, bro, I'm barely playing.
Right.
Is this what that looks like? Is that what
Mhm.
that like? Is that I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
And so is your effort always as great because you looking at all the top of the top all the time?
Mhm.
I mean,
And then devil's advocate, but it could be like a this is what I'm striving to do. Like this gonna make me get in my bag and really start working on a different level to get whatever I see.
for sure.
Um, so it could go either way. So when I talk to the student athletes, like I emphasize the schooling part, the education part. What can you add on focusing on your education? Because in order to play any sport, it's you you need it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think they have even more of a priority on it than we have because the transfer portal is like super real.
Mhm.
And so like, if you're a if you're like a 2-5 guy, like you think about it from a coaching perspective, you're a gamble. You're one slip away from me not having you.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I go? If there's a two players on the same level, I'm gonna go with the 3-5 guy because he got so much more wiggle room than the 2-2 guy, 2-5 guy.
Mhm.
And so, the grades thing I think is like needs to be a priority if you just want to give yourself a fair shot.
Mhm.
If not, like you could miss an opportunity just because your grades and you might be the same or better than somebody else, but just because they got a lot more wiggle room than you. If I'm a coach, like I said last night, like are you somebody who I want to gamble my career on?
Mhm.
And
Wow. Mhm.
if you're not just because your grades, I'm gonna just go a different option.
Mhm.
So
And
I think obviously the grades got to be a priority. I think that's never changed. Like that's not a new thing.
mhm. But it's just like it's something that you want them to tap into to make their life so much easier and to not have to miss out on 10 games because you got to wait for the next semester to even get in and you're kind of hurting your team because if you're a valuable key player then what you giving?
Yeah,
I mean
yeah, no,
encouragement of course, but still like no, we need you.
yeah, nah. And you know what's crazy? I think that a part of that is kind of the system
Mm.
because I'm guilty of it before of like um helping a kid too much. And
Mm.
I feel like there's kids that get too much help. that
Mhm.
teachers do too much for them, so they're never going to catch their swag in the classroom. They'll
Mhm.
never learn what it takes to really study and really like turn in all your work on time, because
Mhm.
there's teachers who always let them get extra credit, who always let them turn in stuff late. So you're never going to get it.
Mhm.
And so as a coach, I've done that before, but I've started to get away from that, where like, you know, I'm not helping you. And if you don't
Mhm.
make it, you're not going to be here. And when that reality sets in, you start to see habits change. You see
Yeah.
people who like, oh dang, he not playing. We ain't got no study hall. We ain't got nothing. And if I don't get my grades right, I'm not going to be here.
Mhm.
And so like there's been times before when like you could tell somebody that, but they know at the last minute they can go to this teacher and she gonna be like, okay, well here's a makeup packet, make this up and you're great. So why would I try ever?
Yeah.
And I think that's just like a behavioral thing, just knowing like, yo, if you're gonna let me slide at the last minute every time, I'm never gonna be ahead of the game. I
Mhm.
would never get ahead because it always feels like I can get it at the last minute.
Yeah. So with that, building those relationships with teachers is important too, because I know that I had good relationship with certain teachers, and
Mm,
it's just a great thing to have because most of the time you're gonna pass if you build those good relationships and like you give some effort and show up and be attentive and like just try. That's
yeah,
all you
for the
gotta do is just
athlete, that's
try.
the cheat code for sure.
It really is. It
For
really is.
sure. For sure.
All right, so there's some things that you're doing with your mentoring. You've been at the academy,
Hmm.
and can you expound on that and what you're doing and what curriculum or what is it?
Yeah, so I've been at the academy. So it's crazy. The whole first semester I was there. It kind of flew by quick.
Mm-hmm.
And so I work with a group of high school students, and it's a leadership club. And initially, um, I didn't really know, because I wasn't in tune as far as like what their needs were.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I think I went in knowing like, okay, I'm gonna just be here to just the mentor you got and we gonna talk. But I didn't know like what they needed
Mm-hmm.
until you get around them. And
Mm-hmm.
then you start to build a rapport with them, and then you kind of see like, oh, okay, I see where I can fill in some of the gaps for you. And for me, I mean, I think like having a space um, with someone who's not a teacher or who's not a staff member, who just like creates an environment where you can just like get off some of the your like life stuff,
Yeah.
right? And being a group of people who aren't judging you. That's kind of a priority that I set when I come in, when we start. Like, we're not laughing at nobody. Like, the conversation is gonna get deep. Like, it's gonna be like, if it becomes something where you laughing or we making fun of somebody, it's the quickest way that you're gonna get out of here.
Right.
And so, once they feel that, and all it takes is the first person to get a little transparent, and you can tell that that was a real statement and they're telling you something from a real place.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is where the room opens up. Like, it softens everybody up, and then they go, oh, okay, well, this is how we talking. Well, I got some stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool to see how kids relate to each other and they're having a lot of the same experiences. Where I fill in the gap is, let me, from an adult standpoint, let me give you my perspective, because I'm not your parent, I'm not your dad, right? Like, I'm just somebody who just here to help you.
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever it may be, here's my perspective. Here's how we can go about it. Here's how the conversation you should go. Like, try to have this right. Like, I think like when everything is just like you're bouncing that stuff off of a kid or somebody your age, it sometimes like the feedback or the advice ain't
Yeah.
the best. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But and you can kind of see it live in the session. Like, somebody would be like, "Yeah, but I'll do it like this," and I'm like, "Hit the brakes," because that would have been the advice if I wasn't here.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like they would have
yeah.
just told you to jump off. Yeah, just jump off the cliff and it's straight. Like it. And so for me to be in that room and to create that, like it's it's super rewarding and fulfilling to just be in there and just like have those relationships with kids who like, I feel like society pushes certain kids to the side.
Mhm.
Like they push it, they nudge a certain group to the side and say, "Y'all stand over here. Everybody else is going this way, but y'all just get to sit here." And I don't think like I don't like how that feels.
Mhm.
And then especially when you start to meet them kids, you go, "Oh, y'all really normal. Y'all really got it. Like y'all got everything, but you just got sent over here and just started to chill."
Yeah. Got
And so
comfortable.
you got comfy chilling over here, and
Mhm.
it's it's sometimes it's like depressing because I don't know if they can get out of it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Without like a complete environment change. Like
Yeah.
it's like you need a whole overhaul of everything. It's like a real uphill battle. But like, for me as a mentor in that space, like I just want to try. Like I'm gonna be here to do whatever I can do, whatever, however I can help you. That's what I'm here for. So that's been
Mhm.
a super rewarding thing that we got going on over at the academy.
Okay. And
And
how
don't
many
act
kids
like
do you
you ain't
have?
been over there either, cause you know what I mean.
I
You got a
have.
few. Yeah,
I
you got a
do. And one
few.
of my girls just went back to regular school and I was so happy because,
Straight up.
like not saying of course the academy is better than doing nothing. Like I don't knock it at all. But I just want to there's so much potential there. And like you said, they
Yeah,
need an overhaul of just a clean slate, new environment. And so she just got back and it just made me feel so
that's what's
good.
up.
So
That's
I
what's up.
in me being that I left, I still keep in contact with them because I like the consistency is really big for me. And if somebody um they impact me as much as I feel like I impact them. And I know that they just need an ear and I've created a trusted environment for them. They trust me, like we talk and the relationships have gotten so much better and they can hit me up. They know they can hit me up whenever. And
Yeah,
the parents have given me the okay to be able to contact them. So it's the kids need people,
it's
y'all.
cool,
So if
right?
you
It's
have
straight
time to
up.
go mentor or anything, like please reach out to them.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So what are the benefits that this has given you? Like specifically, what are the benefits of you said rewarding and fulfillment, but like is it something communication wise like you do better with Gigi or like what has it opened your eyes to?
Yeah, I mean it's I think it's kind of what we were talking about yesterday, where like, yo, I learned from them.
Mhm.
And so I don't want to just learn from just like one group of kids. Like, I only got 10 or 12 guys on the basketball team, and I got a certain group of guys who I train. And it's like, this is just like getting me in and like getting me in front of just another group of kids. So, like,
Yeah.
outside of just like me learning them and just like, you know, being in the environment, like, I learned so much and it's cool that you say that because I am definitely like getting the inside scoop of like, oh, that's what 16 look like. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what 14 look like. Oh, that's what, you know what I mean? That I
Mhm.
wouldn't, if I didn't have these experiences, I got no idea. You just get the mom who's like, oh, it goes by quick. That's what I get all the time. But
Yeah.
like, they don't get the view that I get when I get to see you when you at school by yourself.
Mhm. Right.
You a different person. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And so
Yeah.
like, I get to get that view, and it's that view for me is like, as a on just like a person, like a selfish side, is just like it gives me insight that I wouldn't get
Mhm.
if I just was like, if I wasn't doing any of this.
Yeah. All right. So, what would your your current and former basketball players describe you as a coach? Like how would they describe how would they describe you?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I think they probably would say like I'm like super serious.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that in a way, but I don't know if I would say serious. I would say kind of soft spoken, quiet,
I
but
don't know.
serious,
That's a good
serious
question.
why?
I don't
But
know because and the only reason I say that is because I feel like somebody just told Gabby about that, like told him about me
uh-huh.
about like yeah, Coach J don't be playing like he always serious, and they talk about my dad is a lot more like he's funny, you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean?
Uh-huh.
And but I'm like the super serious one.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I think they would say like I don't know that I care and like I think I know like I have a real insight on what I'm talking about and like the type of guidance that I'm giving. But I don't know. That's a good question.
Why do you
You should
why
ask
do
some
you
of my people.
why
You
do
should,
no, what is one thing you say in your sessions? I don't know is not an answer.
yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
But you did answer.
Uh
You did answer it. You did answer it.
yeah. I actually that's a good question. I would like to know. Like you
Okay.
should I should connect you with some people and like let you see what they say about me.
When y'all win a championship, I'm gonna do another one and have the team.
The whole
We'll do a
team.
team thing. Yeah, that'd be
Word.
or your
Okay.
captains or somebody, your seniors or eighth graders. That'd be
For
dope.
sure. That'd be
Okay.
dope.
So part B of that question is, what would your former coaches describe you as you would as a player? The
Oh.
list goes on. Like is that?
Yeah, I mean I think high school, I would say that they would say I'm like a competitor.
Mhm.
Like I was with it. Like I was with competing. Like that is and I think it's even still like it's super fun to me. I don't really like playing when it's easy.
Mhm.
I really enjoy when it's like, hey, they good and we good. Like you got
Yeah.
to play. Like you
Yeah.
can't like play with them. Like you gonna have to. That's where I feel like I'm my best. But I felt like that was the thing that like got me through it, just being super competitive all the time. I think Lavin would say I was a competitor.
Mhm.
College wise, I think there's a few coaches who probably wouldn't say nice things about me. You know what I mean? But I think my last year, Coach Cars, I think he would say I think he would say I was like a real leader. Like that was when I had like been through enough and like
Mhm.
had enough experience to like really lead and stand in front of a group of guys.
Okay. Respected. I like those type of questions because it's like you're really talking about yourself
Yeah.
and
And
you
I
know.
really haven't thought about it like that. So it kind of caught me off guard.
All right. So who is your favorite player and why? Let's say NBA.
Mm, I don't necessarily got a favorite player.
Okay, you have like a
I don't
top
got a
three.
favorite player or favorite team or
Mhm.
anything like that. Like I just watch everything. Like
Okay.
I'll watch anybody. I'll watch
Mhm.
any game on like if there was somebody who like I like how they carry themselves and like the whole thing that's like but this is why I don't have this. And Gabby makes fun of me about this
Okay.
because the view that I get of them guys, they know a camera is on them.
Mm.
So I'm not really I don't really know. I don't
It's not
really know who you
authentic.
yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm just kind of like to say who am I a fan of is like I can
Yeah.
say I like you, but I don't know if I would like you in real life.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So if there's anybody who like from that view, I like how they carry themselves. I would say like Dame is
Mhm.
somebody who I'm a point guard, so I like how he plays, his demeanor, like all of those things. But I don't. It's hard for me to just give somebody and say, "Hey, I'm a fan of yours." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because
Yeah.
I don't really. I have a small window of when I actually see you.
Mhm. Okay.
But Dame would be somebody I'm a fan of.
All right. Well, we got a few more questions, but we got a little game.
Okay.
So if you know me, oh my god, I'm a trivia girl. I love going to trivia night. So I just have some few trivia questions, and they're again random, and they're multiple choice. So
Okay.
and they're just it's sports, but it's yeah, you'll see.
Okay.
So which country has won the most FIFA World Cups?
Oh God.
We have Brazil, Argentina, Germany, or Italy.
I'm guessing Argentina.
Oh, where's my? I should have had my thing on. Brazil.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. What country is the second most common birthplace of current MLB players? So we're talking baseball. Canada, Cuba, Dominican Republic, or Japan?
You said what was the top or the?
Second most.
How did who know?
Canada, Cuba, the DR, or Japan?
So I feel like Canada or Cuba or the DR is probably one and two, but I don't know who's two. I
Ding,
mean,
okay, well, ding, ding, ding. I'll give it to you.
okay,
The DR, the DR.
okay, okay.
um, this one kind of might be easy. Which team has won the most World Series titles? The Cardinals, the Dodgers, the Marlins, or the Yankees?
I guess the Yankees.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay.
I
Two for
don't
two.
know.
I know. Random. Super random. Which team won the 2019 NBA Finals? Toronto Raptors, Golden State Warriors, Cleveland Cavaliers, or LA Lakers? I'll, I would tell you the top two teams that were in. Well, the two teams that were in the finals, but that.
That'd be easy. Yeah, that I would know then.
Okay.
Um, it was right before the bubble. It's got to be Golden State, huh?
They were in the finals, but they
So they
lost
lost to Cleveland, the
to the
19.
Raptors.
Oh
The
snap! Okay, that
Raptors.
was the Kawhi joint. The Kawhi.
Mm,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha, gotcha.
All right. Oh, this is random. How many players are on the ice per team in an ice hockey game? Six, eight, five, or seven?
Six or eight. I'm gonna go with.
Go with your gut. Go with
mm,
your first
mm,
answer.
I'm gonna say six.
Yes. Ding, ding,
Yeah,
ding.
I don't
All
know
right.
how I got that. I just felt like
I
eight is
know.
a lot. 12. What was it? 12 is way too many.
I I honestly it was like eight, but I mean it's two off, so yeah, but six is it.
Yeah.
Which of these NBA teams is the newest?
Okay.
Los Angeles Clippers, New Orleans Pelicans, Oklahoma City Thunder, or Memphis Grizzlies?
The Thunder in it.
Ding ding ding.
Yeah.
In
The
1984, in the 1984 NBA draft, when did Michael Jordan get selected?
it was
First,
second.
second, third.
Ooh, second or third. He wasn't first. Wait.
I need a poker face.
Nah, it was somebody before him. He was second. He was third. Who went before it? You got to give me some follow up.
Um, I don't know. The answer didn't go in depth of who was first and second, but
Gotcha.
we're gonna look it up. All
Yeah.
right. Okay, last one. How many basketball teams are in the NBA?
Oh goodness.
28, 30, 29, or 32?
Is it 32 or 28? 32. I'm gonna go 32.
Ah, it's
What is it?
30. It's
Uh,
30. Okay, not too bad.
that
I
was
feel like you were
terrible.
like
that
500. Okay.
was rough. That was
So
tough.
those were tough. In NBA, I am not a trivia, like I love trivia, but I'm not good.
I'm
And
not.
then my
I'm not
team,
even like a statistician and just like know all of that stuff. You know what I mean?
no,
I'm. Uh,
I don't either. I learn. Okay. So last couple questions. So in life, like rejections happen, and I think that yesterday, first of all, thank you again for being so open and vulnerable and like an open book, just giving your story. I learned so much about you that I didn't even know. And you saying basically like you didn't have any offers and stuff like that, like that's like a rejection and life is challenging. So how would you say for the young athletes that may experience the challenges, as they're growing in their paths, like how do you get over it and how would you tell like Gigi, how would you tell somebody to get over that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would tell them to get over it. I think they're a necessity. Um, but I think time helps.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't say get over it. I don't think I would use that word. I think I would say find the lesson in it and let's do better moving forward. Like,
Mhm.
what are you learning from this rejection? Like, how can I move forward so I don't feel this again? But I wouldn't say, hey, bro, you got to get over that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I think I would like, yeah, it sucked. Like, it happens and there are going to be some more. So, like, just, it's going to be like, for me, I think it's a thing that one, I think it gives you like the tough skin that you're gonna need moving through life. Like you need to have them rejections, you need to have some stuff not go right. Like without it, I feel like you're a little soft.
Mhm.
And so I mean I would say like what happened? Can you like pick something out of this thing? Like I think everything happened for a reason. Like what was it? And
Mhm.
then let's move forward. Let's just, and time is the only thing that helps us move forward. Like it ain't gonna feel the same 60 days from now. It ain't gonna feel the same a year from now. So like knowing that as time goes by, it's gonna feel a little less. Like let's not run into that again.
Yeah. So even like with this, like me looking to interview people, like I've gotten ignored, I've gotten like no's and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's just one of those things, like you said, um, like what lesson can I learn? And life does go on. Like yes, you told me no, but I'm gonna find somebody else. I'm gonna keep continue to go. So just I guess that's a big insight too. Like just keep pushing because it will get better. Things will
Yeah.
get better.
Yeah, and I think that, that no, you're just one no closer to yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, like there may be a few. It's funny because I'm going through that right now where I'm getting, some no's, and it's just like, it's just a part of the process. Like you better get them out the way. Like there's a yes somewhere, but it's gonna be some no's in there. So like the quicker you can get through them, closer you gonna get to the thing that you're looking for. That was me talking to myself for real.
Yeah. Persistence is really like that's a thing. Like, yeah. Okay. So, what's your favorite quote or saying that you live by or that you keep with you and continue to recite to yourself?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I got like I got a notes page or
Yeah.
like of just quotes that I just come across that stick with me. Um, I'll use this one because it's the last one on my list.
Okay.
Remove judgment from the outcome, and you will walk confidently into the decision you need to make.
Mm.
And so when I hear that, I think about like there's been times where like I didn't do something or I was nervous about something, and it was only because I cared about what people might think. Like,
Wow.
and so if you take that away,
Mhm.
if you take away the fear of the judgment, you're gonna be a lot confident, a lot more confident making that decision. When you can't care what the like about that judgment or like you almost freeze yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm still talking to myself here as I'm talking this through, but like that judgment I think freezes a lot of people. Like it freezes me still
Mhm.
to this day. And so like when I heard that, I was like I stopped everything and wrote that down
Yeah.
because it like pierced to my
That's
soul.
a
Like, oh
whole word.
yeah.
I like that a lot. And I'm glad that you said that too. Like, it's not just for the youngins. Like, that's for us. Like
yeah, we
everybody.
yeah, we care what people think.
Oh, for
It's kind of
sure.
like natural and baked into who we are as people, but like if you can get over that and not care as much, and like I think you'll be better. You'll move a lot more
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah, I agree. So I watched podcast P, Paul George's podcast, and there's something that he
Okay.
does on there at the end where he has his guests like give their starting lineup of current
Okay.
or old players. So I want you to run it 1 through 5. Like I want you to give who you think would be your starting lineup. So let's start with
Ooh.
the one.
At the one, do they gotta be a one or can I make them a one?
I think you can make him a one. Who
Can I
cares?
make them
Like
a one?
yeah.
Okay. All right, my one is gonna be AI.
Okay.
We got AI running the point.
All right.
My two gonna be Kobe.
Yeah. Solid.
Actually, wait. Let me put that back. Let me make Mike my two.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Kobe at the three.
Okay.
I'm gonna stretch the floor, and Bron gonna run the
Oh,
four.
the four.
Yeah, he gonna be off, and then Shaq gonna be the five.
Solid.
We
Solid.
destroying everything.
Everybody.
Yeah, we destroyed everything.
That's the
Whatever you want.
Monstars.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right. So I always kind of end with like, what encouraging words you have for the student athletes who want to play sports and continue to go in their respective sports, and just as a young human being, to be a great person? Like, what encouraging words do you have them for them?
um, I would say like grow. Like just try to do better.
Hmm.
And it ain't even gotta be like a big growth thing. Like it ain't gotta be like a complete transformation. But I think like if you can just find a small thing that you can just work on getting better at, I think that gets lost in people,
Hmm.
especially adults. I think we get to a spot where we don't get better no more. Like you
Hmm.
just start working and you just like living your life, but like you're not getting better at nothing. So like as a kid, as a youth, like even like if I could talk to myself, I would say that like, yo, just get better. Like find ways to like just grow as a person. Um and just like little things. So like athletes, like if there's any hitch in your game, I think we all know what those things are. Don't just let that be a hitch in your game.
Hmm.
Like really be actively pursuing making that better. And I think that's the only way you even gonna give yourself a chance. Like you just gotta consistently be growing from a person, from an athletic standpoint, from like that's it almost feels a bit like while we're here. I don't think we're here to just chill and be the same person. I think we should be growing
Hmm.
all the time, like
Right.
forever.
Hmm. Okay. I respect that. I like that a lot. And so, what's next for John Barnes and Silentwork? Like, what's the move or the vision for your growth with the business?
Yeah, so what's next for me, like I don't really like to disrespect opportunities. And so like I'm on this Bruner thing right now. Like this is what I'm really locked in on for the next month.
Hmm.
So if I had like a monthly thing, like we about to win another championship. Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm making sure that like this is where I'm at. Um Business wise, like with silent work, I'm moving into like a different, so I think like there's a like a youth basketball door that I've been in where like I train a lot of like kids up until like high school. So a, s- a space where I want to meet another range of athletes is like the college and professionals, right? So
Okay.
like moving into that space and helping them in the like mindset and the personal development space is where I want to move into, like a consulting space is where I'm
Hmm.
headed.
Hmm.
And so there'll be some that's on the plate for this year as far as like, and I want to get into, I want to teach these lessons in schools,
Okay.
right? So like being in going to Fort Walton and working with their athletes, or going to Choctaw and working with their athletes on just like the mental performance space, and kind of more like what I do at the academy, but more sports specific.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm headed to, business wise, and even just kind of like uh, my plans for this year.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
nice. That's nice. Um, so you have your website. Like, if people want to
hmm
go in there to, I guess, register or
Yeah.
buy
So
merch, all of that.
all of that is on there. And on the social media is like you get a lot of like you hear a lot of like my lessons and a lot of the speeches and the stuff. No, I wouldn't even call them speeches. They're more like conversations that I'm having with like people that I'm working with. So On the website, if you're trying to, if you got somebody who you looking to like, you want to get in the gym and you want to work on some stuff, that's going to be where you can book sessions and find out more information there. But online, social media is somewhere where I just want to spread my message.
Okay. And so you're gonna start doing that on a more consistent basis, like, or you've been doing it for a while, like.
I've been posting the messages for a while now, probably maybe like a few years now, but that's I've moved away from posting so much basketball stuff as far as like skill stuff. I just feel like that's there already. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like I feel like the drills and stuff are there on social media, like if you're looking for it. So I want to, spend more time like using that space to share and I don't think those conversations should die in the room that they were had in. So
Yeah.
like if I can take a piece of it and show it to a kid in Michigan, I think it works. So that's why how I look at my social media is like, have that conversation with people who you never met before.
Yeah. Okay, so what are your pages like? What is your website name and.
So my website is silent-work.com. My social media, that's a good question. Is underscore silent work 850. I believe. Hold on,
That's
let
on
me make sure.
IG?
That's on IG. It's Silent Work 850. So underscore Silent Work 850 is IG, and then on Facebook it's just Silent Work.
Okay. And I'll make sure I put that in the thing. So parents, don't miss out. Like,
Yeah,
get
man.
in there, get some work done. And I can't leave without shouting out baby Gigi. I have to say, hey Gigi, I love her, and Gabby, and congratulations to her, you, the team for getting on the fishing tour. Like that's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
be
yeah,
the film on the fishing tour. That's super dope.
yeah. That's cool. That's
Y'all are some entrepreneurs, man. Y'all are doing that's major.
yeah, and it ain't. It's crazy, man. That's a whole nother. I feel like I can ramble on that one. That's yeah. That's cool, man. Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's gonna open so many doors and like great things are coming for y'all. And I don't know, I'm just so excited for y'all because it's a really good film and I don't know. It's just really nice in the message behind it. Can you just touch on that a little bit? Just real quick?
Yeah, it's a conservation film about so we're stopping or we're attempting to put a stop to mining proposals for limestone on Andros in the Bahamas.
Okay.
And so, we got a deep connection to Andros because we used to live there. And so like we got a bunch of people who close friends who live on the island who presented it to us, and then, we just wanted to find a way to bring it to just like a wider range audience in the States. And so we shot a film, and the film ended up getting into the Fly Fishing Film Tour. And there's like, so on the tour, I want to say, I keep saying 88, but Gabby said it's more stops than that. But there's like, there are different stops all around the United States where our film will get shown to,
Mhm.
groups of fishing enthusiasts and conservationists and the people who are into that kind of thing. So our vision is like we have a petition that you can sign at the end of the film and like do our part to like end that mining proposal in Andros.
Nice. And y'all just came from back from there not too
Just
long
came back.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
December.
And y'all, if y'all want to go fishing, she's a fishing captain. Lady Luck Adventures. Shout out
Lady Luck.
Gabby.
Lady Luck.
G Bar. All
For
right.
sure.
Well, is there anything else you want to hit on that we didn't cover with silent work or
I
getting
think we
anything
got
out
it.
there? All
I
right.
think we got
Well,
it. We good.
thank y'all. Thank you, John, for coming on here again. Thank you for being open and honest and about your story. Really appreciate it. Thank you for coming on the Athletic Exchange, and I'll see y'all soon when you
Word,
win
word.
it.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us. The next one, we're gonna have all the boys in the
All
background,
of
like
them.
all of it
They're gonna
straight.
be hype.
Straight.
Yes. So again, I always end with love your neighbor as yourself, and that means don't forget to love you. So thank y'all. Happy Martin Luther King Day. Happy
Happy
birthday to
MLK
Martin Luther
Day.
King, and happy birthday to my sister. Today's her birthday. Brianna, love you. All
Nice,
right.
nice. All right.
Bye.